Hello, Michael here from Oxford Mobility. I'm their product specialist. And today we're going to look at a 2023 new Toyota Sienna rear entry vehicle by BraunAbility. This is what they call a shortcut, so it's a one wheelchair position in the rear. The reason for that is that with the hybrid, they didn't have any room to put the battery in such a position to give you a full length conversion, which you're probably familiar of looking at. So this is more of a, you'll see them on taxis too, where they integrate more seating and to integrate the wheelchair with a couple more seats in there too as well. So we'll start by going around the vehicle, and I'll show you the interior of the side entry here of the doors of the, this is the right side. So this is the mid row. And if you look in here, you'll see that Braun was able to retain the three seats across the middle. So really it seats three here. You can get two on the outside. On the factory seats, they do move forward and back and they tilt. You can also put somebody smaller in the mid row there. So this is seating for three with the rear entry. And then we'll have a look at the back here and how the ramp works and the conversion. So here we are at the rear of the Toyota. It's a manual hatch. The LE doesn't have a power hatch, so there's a little button underneath there that releases it. And here we have the conversion. Now it's a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. To release, it's a kind of a two-part section here. So there's a release button here, and this drops the tailgate down like so. Now you'll notice that there is still the ramp has gone into the conversion here flat. So this is one feature that Braun came up with, so that the ramp isn't up to here and blocking the driver's view out the back, and so when there isn't a wheelchair in there, it just makes it a little nicer, a little airier, and also doesn't block the driver's view out the rear. So this simply pulls out like so, and it drops down, and then you have the access to the conversion. So that goes back in. If you didn't have a wheelchair in there, you could just pop that back in again, or you can also fold it up this way. So when the wheelchair is in there, it'll be folded up like that. You can see how much lesser view you have out the rear because of the height of the ramp. So it's a long ramp. It gives you a much lower angle of attack. So when you're pushing the wheelchair up there, it's a nice gradual incline up into the conversion. It's a non-skid ramp, very typical of BraunAbility, nicely powder coated. You'll notice the slats in the ramp. So as the wheelchair goes up and you've got debris on the chair, most of it will fall through there and come out the bottom, and you won't have it in the conversion. The flooring is a commercialized rubber flooring, so it's very durable. It can be simply washed out with a mop. You'll see my footprints on it from already walking in there. It is black. So that's a very durable flooring. It can be washed out to keep it clean, and you want to keep it clean. So the drawbacks to them is you'll see that it's kind of a bit of a darker area in here. You can fold those rear seats down to give you more light, so the person in the wheelchair can be looking forward. The windows are a bit high on the Toyota, so there's light through there, but you'll notice that they're a little bit higher. So you can fold those seats down to give you a flat surface if there's no one sitting there, and it gives a little more forward viewage there. So when we look at the tie-down system here, it's a little more complex than a side entry where you can simply snap down a factory belt on the chair. It's a little bit of a different configuration here. But if we look up front, we'll show you how these work, and you might have seen these on taxis too as well. But they're called electric retractors, and these retractors will actually come out and meet you with the chair at the end of the ramp here. So there's a lockout button that's right here. And whenever that lockout button is on, and you hear that beeping like that, it means that the retractors are free, meaning that you can pull them out. So they will come out right to the end, and you can hook them onto the wheelchair when the chair is right there. I'll just shut that off for the noise. So then you've got your front retractors will be on the front of the wheelchair. At that point, you can reel the chair in. I've got to unlock it again. So you push the chair in, goes up the ramp, And you would stop accordingly to where the footrest was, whether it be here or slightly back here. But you need to stop the chair that's comfortable for the rider, where his footrest is almost or close to being touching the front well there. After you've got the front ones, and then you would lock them. So shut the lock off. So now those front retractors are locked. Remember that the only way you can get those front retractors out and to pull the wheelchair out is to unlock the retractors, okay? That's just a reminder, the buzzer. So in an event, once the chair is all in and that buzzer is still going, you close the hatch. You want to make sure that the buzzer is off, meaning that it's locked. So then we need to do the rear retractors on the chair. And these guys have a storage area up here. I don't know if you can catch that or not, Andrea, our camera gal. But they have a little storage area to keep them, which is nice, because these are heavy. And when there's no one in the vehicle, you want to make sure that they're locked in here because they can fly around during a collision. So we take them off, and they're called sliding clicks. So they very simply just slide on the circle, just like this, and they can rotate. To get them off, pull up, slide off. Really, really easy. Now, you may know how these work if you have a previous van, but these are automatic retractors. So they will self-tension onto the wheelchair. And the only way to get them undone is to push that red button down. So the red button releases it. See that there? Right? But without the red button, they're going to lock as the chair moves. Okay, so you'll put two of those down right there and then one on the other side. We'll put two down. Okay, so these two would go on the rear of the chair. There and there. All right, so that does the retractors. Okay, so let's have a look at the belting system. This is a little trickier than a side entry, like I said before, where you can just snap the factory seatbelt on that Braun adapted with the receiver. So these guys, you kind of got to build a three-piece harness. And it starts with the lap belt. This is the guy that looks like this. This comes with your conversion. It has a red button to release the two halves, okay? So if I'm sitting in the wheelchair, this is actually going to be the part that's going to go around me like this, okay, while I'm in the chair. And on this little pin here, there's a small pin here that we're going to attach the lap, or the shoulder belt, I should say. And it's going to go on here. And it's going to end up clipped up here. Okay, so that's going to end up being your shoulder. Now, how the lap belt attaches is if we pan down here a little bit, back to the retractors, you can see these two pins here. There's a pin on each retractor, and there's a clasp on the lap belt. And it simply goes around here, and you hear it go snap. Now we know that's secure. We're going to put both sides on. So this one will go on this side. Okay. A little tug. There, we're snapped. Now we've got a lap. So the lap, imagine the chair here. I'm just doing this for filming purposes. So the lap is here. The person's facing this way, of course. Then you have the shoulder belt, which we will attach to this pin. There's a pin right on there. It goes in like that. And it's going to come up and attach to this clasp up here. Okay? That's what Braun puts this in through Q-strain. So now we've got the lap coming across here, or I should say the shoulder, I'm sorry. The shoulder comes across here, and then your lap is here, okay? So imagine the chair facing this way, and these are all fully adjustable. So once you do this, you only have to do it once. So you can adjust these belts and the lap, make sure the lap is well across the shoulder, make sure the lap belt goes under the chair armrest. Make sure that the lap belt goes under the chair armrest. So if the armrests are removable, pull them up and put the lap belt around the waist. You don't want the lap belt going around the outside of the armrest on the wheelchair. It's very dangerous because then there's no contact to the waist of the person in the chair. And in an accident, they can submarine out of the chair. So you want to be very cautious that you do that. And then when you're ready to take the chair out, that's what the red button kind of comes in handy. You can pop that out and separate it that way and put them on either side. You can take the retractors and put everything on that side for storage. So the next time you go to put them on, you can simply just pop this together and it'll all fold into place. Unless you have a different size person with a different wheelchair, would you have to adjust all this, okay? So it's a little trickier. The manual does come with your conversion from Q-Strain on how to do this. If you have any questions, be sure to give us a call at Oxford Mobility, and we can certainly help you out if you get stuck, okay? So just to recap of the tie-down system, remember to release the front retractors, the alarm, okay? When you're done, shut the alarm off to lock them. Keep these stowed, the rear retractors, keep them stowed up here for safety's sake when you don't have a wheelchair in there. And remember to always use a certified chair. So use a chair that's certified for mobility to be in a vehicle. So no folding chairs. You don't want to use a transport chair from the hospital. You don't want to put something like that in there. A lot of people do. There's no law against it, but for your safety's sake, you should look at a certified chair. And you can actually Google that. You can Google crash testing of wheelchairs, and it'll actually show you if your chair, there's all the chairs that they make in the world on this website, and it'll show you if your chair is certified or is safe to be into a vehicle that's being tied down, okay? So there's two ways we'll just show you how to fold the ramp back up again. Pick it up from the handles. You can push it in like this and fold it up this way. Shut the tailgate down. Or, whoops, go here. Or pull it out. If the wheelchair's in there, because you can't do it the other way. Push it up here, then fold and shut your gate. So those are the two ways to close up the conversion. If you have any questions, again, be sure to give us a call with Oxford Mobility. I'm Michael, Product Specialist. Thanks very much for watching, and wait for the next video of our next vehicle.